It's MLS Week 9 or Matchday 10, and let's get into this weekend's best MLS predictions. We've got 12 games on Saturday and 2 more on Sunday, which has been the case for the last few weeks. And to summarize, heading into this weekend, Nashville is the team coming off the bye. Philly is still the only undefeated team, and they'll stay that way for at least one more week as they'll be on a bye this round themselves. Columbus Crew have CONCACAF Champions Cup semifinals action coming up next week, Tuesday against Monterrey, so I'll probably be staying away from that game this week, not knowing how much they'll be rotating. Last week, the bets went 2-1, only being a New York Red Bulls goal away from a perfect 3-0, and we were close. The Red Bulls did take a red card, and they even hit the post twice in the dying seconds of that game. Maybe this week we'll go for the sweep. Let's get into the 3 best parlays this weekend. While listening, be sure to give the video a like, subscribe to the channel, consider becoming a member to show your support. Parlay number 1, I'm going to start with Miami and Nashville. It's another Miami and Nashville game. These teams just seem to keep meeting up every tournament, every few months. They played twice already this season in the Champions Cup with a 2-2 draw in Nashville and a 3-1 Miami win in Florida. Since the start of last year, they played 6 times, Miami being 3-2-1. The only road win in this time came with Miami winning in PKs in the League Cup after a 1-1 draw in that final. In all competitions, Nashville's now allowed multiple goals in 7 straight games, and their defense is just not the same without Walker Zimmerman and Shaq Moore. Their offense also non-existent when Henny Mukhtar and Sam Surge aren't clicking, which they haven't been for much of this season. They have one win that was at home versus a Charlotte team that doesn't score much, and that being their only win in their 8 games. Miami are rightfully big favorites in this game, bigger than minus 200, but their defense was already pretty bad, and Jordi Alba left last week's game injured. Certainly could be out this weekend. That could open up space for the speedy Jacob Schaffelberg for Nashville, so possibly Nashville could still get on the board. Can't trust Miami's defense much. The Herons got their first win in 5 games last week, but they still gave up a goal, something they've now done in 10 straight games. They've also given up multiple goals in each of their last 4 games. This looks like a great game that could be both teams to score over 2.5, possibly Miami winning a parlay, or simply Miami to score at least 2 goals in this parlay for leg 1. And the next leg for me, let's go to Houston and Austin, the Texas rivalry here. Despite missing several key players, Ben Olsen and the Dynamo are 3rd in the West. They're 4-1-2. Defensively, they're tied for the lowest goals allowed in the league, having only allowed 7 goals. Offensively, they aren't lighting up the scoreboard with just 9 goals, but they've still scored in every single MLS game this year, as well as in 10 of 11 overall matchups as well, and also in 6 straight games. They also have 4 wins in their past 5, and they won 2-1 away on the road to Minnesota last week. Dynamo are usually always a strong home team, and in all matches, they are 11-3-2 in their past 16 when playing at home, and they only have 4 losses in their past 29 home games. Austin's 2-game win streak ended last week as they lost 1-0 in St. Louis. That leaves them 11th in the conference. Now, save for 1 0-0 draw with Seattle back on March 2nd, Austin has let in a goal in each of their other 7 games so far. Austin's never a good team when on the road, never a good bet there. Their 2 wins this season were at home. If you go back to last season, they are winless in 10 road games in MLS, and they have just 3 wins in 25 across all matches as well. Unsurprisingly, they've given up a goal in 24 of those 25 road matches. Last year at home, the home team won all 3 games between these teams. Scores were Houston 2-0 and 2-1, and Austin 3-0. Home teams have gone 7-0-1 in the all-time meetings between them. And the last meeting, being a 3-0 Austin win, was the only time Houston has failed to score versus Austin in those 8 games. I'm simply going to ask Houston to get 1 goal here playing at home. They're a great home team. They've been playing great this season. Austin's a poor road team, and they've not been great this season either. And we'll round this out, leg 3, with LAFC and the New York Red Bulls. There's certainly some game of the week potential here as one of the late games that'll be going on late Saturday night. It's 6th place in the West, LAFC hosting 2nd in the East, the Red Bulls. Both have scored some goals. LAFC 13-8, New York 11-8. LAFC's defense hasn't been perfect. They've let in 12 goals, but New York's has been tight, giving up only 7, which is tied amongst the lowest in the league. New York drew Chicago 0-0 last week, but they were controlling that game until they took a red card, and they still hung on for and almost won it in the last minutes as they hit the post twice in the same play, and they still only have 1 defeat on the year. New York has conceded, though, in 3 of 4 road games, and the only one where they didn't was their first game to Nashville, who struggled to score. LAFC are undefeated in 2 games. They drew Portland 2-2 last week. They have just 1 loss in 4, and they've scored 11 goals in their last 4 games. However, they have also allowed 6 goals in their last 3 games, and they've given up at least 1 in 6 of 8. One way or another, I'm hoping for at least 2 goals in this game, maybe a both team to score, but at least 2 from somebody. Let's go over 1.5. We go LAFC New York over 1.5, Houston to score, Miami to score 2. Get plus 117 odds in this parlay. Continuing on with this weekend's MLS predictions, let's go to one of MLS's newest rivalries, and it's been one of the most exciting. It's Sporting Kansas City and St. Louis. They played 5 times last year, with the home team winning 4 of those 5, and there were no draws at all. SKC went 3-0-2. The score lines were 4-0, 2-1, 4-1, 4-1, and 2-1. So we can probably see where we're going here. It's probably going to be another game of goals based on that trend from last year. This season, SKC games average 3.4 goals per match, and they have put up the 4th most shots on target as well. Despite only 2 losses, they only have 2 wins. They've also blown leads of 2-0, 3-0, and 1-0 in recent weeks. Last week, they scored early versus Miami, but they still went on to lose 3-2. Both teams' scores hit in 7 of their 8 games, which is a bet that has hit in 5 of 8 for St. Louis as well. But in neither of their past 2 games, as they had a 1-0 win over Austin and a 0-0 draw with Dallas. St. Louis has kept 3 clean sheets, but in their last 3 road games, they've drawn 2-2, 3-3, and lost 3-1. Now, both of these teams have been scoring, and neither has shown much capability to keep clean sheets. I certainly expect SKC to score when they're playing at home in this rivalry. St. Louis has just 1 road clean sheet in their past 11 road MLS games, but SKC can't seem to hold a lead. They just keep coughing up leads left, right, and center. St. Louis could also get Edward Lewin back this weekend, which could help the attack. Let's go both teams to score. Certainly you could maybe add the over 2.5 as well. But for this parlay, let's go both teams to score and then pair it with Chicago and Real Salt Lake. Chicago's undefeated in 2 games. They have just 1 loss in 5, but they're still 11th in the East at 2-3-3. RSL only has 3 points more than Chicago. It's 12 compared to 9, but they're 4th in the West at 3-3-2. RSL started with only 1 win in 4. They're now undefeated in 4. They've scored in 6 of 8, but have also conceded in 6 of 8. Both teams to score has gone 5-3, and there's been 2 or more goals in 7 of their 8 games. Chicago has been all over the map. It's hard to really nail down what kind of type of team they are. They only had 1 win in 5 to start the season. They now only have 1 loss in 5 as well. They drew the Red Bulls 0-0 last week, but spent half that game up a man and still couldn't manage to win, and actually almost lost that game in the end. They too have scored in 6 of their 8 games. They've allowed a goal in 7 of 8 games, and there's been 2 or more goals in 7 of their 8 games as well. Hugo Kuipers has yet to take off for the Fire, but he does have 2 goals, while 4 Fire players have scored multiple goals, and 6 have at least 1, so they're getting goals by committee here. RSL will go as Chicho Arango goes, and right now he has 6 of the team's 11 goals. He's tied atop the Golden Boot race, so he is going. This could be a both team to score or simply an over 1.5, because Chicago RSL over 1.5, SKC St. Louis both team to score will get us right around even money, a plus 103 over at Caesars Sportsbook. And one more game. We've gone a 3-game parlay, a 2-game parlay, and I'll just do 1 single bet in the last game on the schedule on Sunday, so we all have something to look forward to in that last game, not worrying about any parlay being broken up earlier. Let's go LA Galaxy and San Jose Earthquakes. It's the Cali Clasico between first in the West, LA, and last in the West, San Jose. LA has scored the 2nd most goals, only behind Miami, though has played 1 fewer game, while San Jose has allowed the most goals, 20 goals in just 8 games. This is the highest scoring rivalry in MLS history. We've already seen them play once time this year, and that trend continued again, a 3-1 road Galaxy win on March 2nd. If we look back to other scores between them last season and further back, we see 3-2 LA, 2-2, 2-1 LA last year, and before that, 3-2, 3-2, 2-1, 3-1. This rivalry has historically always been high scoring. LA has actually scored 2 or more goals in 7 of those 8 games recently, and also 2 or more in each of the past 6. That's something LA did last week as well, when they won 3-1 in Vancouver, and something they've done in 5 of 8 games this season overall. Now, allowing 2 or more goals is something San Jose has done in absolutely every single game this season. Their defense has been terrible. In reverse order, they have allowed 3 last week to Colorado, and then also 4, 2, 2, 2, 2, 3, and 2 goals. They're giving up goals to teams that don't even usually score, like Austin, Houston, Colorado, and Dallas. Now, their only chance here is that they do usually, no matter how the teams are playing, good, bad, when they play in this derby, usually at least both teams come and put in a good show, so maybe they will rise up here. LA's defense also rarely keeps clean sheets. The both teams to score in over 2.5 has gone 15-2 in Galaxy games. That's always a good bet in this rivalry and in almost any Galaxy game. So if you wanted to go that route, you would get minus 138 on both teams to score over 2.5. But San Jose's just been so bad, and LA has looked good. I'm just going to focus on LA and create a same-game parlay where the Galaxy to win and over 1.5 goals for the Galaxy. That would be minus 150. If you bet that at a book that allows a cash out, if the Galaxy gets 2 goals and they're up, you could just take the cash out. If it's a book like Bet365, if LA goes up by 2, you'll be automatically given the win for that 2-goal lead, and that would cover both of those legs. So that's what I'm going to do there. Galaxy plus over 1.5. Those are my 3 best MLS bets and parlays this weekend. And what do you like? Share your picks down there in the comments. Let's hope to all cash some winners this weekend.